Mm-hmm.
So can you all see this? Because I cannot see you all, okay?
Yes, I can see it. It's okay.
So we're going to talk today about mastering job application and interview in the Netherlands. Because I realize that if I look at some Facebook posts, I realize people are still wondering how it works in the Netherlands, because it can also be a lot of cultural difference about how we apply for a job in our own country and how we apply for a job in another country like the Netherlands. Okay, you all need a telephone for this one. Please go to slido.com and you can use that code number that's given there. And you can answer this question. And also, I would like to know where you are at this moment. You can have your own, and it allows you to type in only once before you send it. So please add your nationality and also where you are at the moment. Luxembourg, okay.
We need to write it going by the QR code or here in the chat.
In the QR code, you go to slide. Can you see my slide? It says slido.com in your telephone. And then you will come to with your Chrome or Google, and then you will get the code, and then the code is with the hashtag 11520248, and you will come to this question. We had about 10 participants, right? I have 7 answers. Waiting for 3 more.
Just a minute. I'm opening also.
Okay, I won't wait very long. So that's nice. Welcome, people from India, Romania, Luxembourg, Netherlands, and Indonesia. Nice to know. Now, a little introduction about myself. My name is Kirtika van Hunen. I'm a certified cross-cultural trainer and a speaker, consultant, author, and coach. I identify myself as a world citizen because I was born in Nepal. That is the red flag you see with the 2 triangles. And I was brought up in India because my parents were from India and Nepal. So I grew up in the 2 countries. And I was brought up in an international school that was run by Irish nuns. So that's why you see the Irish flags. So I have a bit of Irish. I was brought up in a bit of Irish ways. And that's how English also became my first language. And I've been living in the Netherlands for the last almost 30 years. So when people ask me, where are you from? I always say I'm a world citizen because that's how I feel. I have done my master's in environment management, MSc from the University of Hertfordshire in England. I've done 2 graduations, one from India and one from the Netherlands. And I'm an environmental engineer. And I have done a postgraduate and, of course, the master's. Now, after my studies, I have worked for the Dutch government for 17 years. After 17 years, I wanted to do something else, so then I began my own company between 2 cultures. And so since then, I am a certified trainer working with people who want to navigate culture and become global leaders, leading multicultural teams and working with multicultural organizations. In 2016, I wrote a book, Duchess from the Himalaya. It's my cultural experience of the Netherlands. I wrote it to inspire people who are living and working between cultures. My second book is in Dutch. It's about, it's for corporates actually, or people working in a multicultural team or a workplace to navigate cultures. And there is an English version of it, which I launched in February this year. It's called When Cultures Meet. And that book just won in May an award from the Next Generation Indie Book Finalist Award, which I'm very happy for. I've been a university teacher at Fontes here in the Netherlands, and I gave Dutch culture and language to international students. I work with Farent here in the Netherlands. It is as a volunteer, and I am an intercultural or a cross-cultural career coach. I speak 6 languages, but of course, I'm not fluent in all of them. So that's me in a nutshell. What I'm going to talk about today is I will talk a little about before applying a job, what you have to do and what things you need, a job application, so what's happening when you're applying, and then I will talk about interview and negotiation. So what happens before applying? It's very important you know what you want. So what do you want is very important before even if you start looking for a job. What do I mean by that is that are you desperate for a job because you're in the Netherlands and you need the money very much because you don't have income? Or are you just looking for a side job because you have a full job somewhere, or you have a part-time job, or you are somebody who's in the house, a housemaker, and want to earn something? Or do you just want to do some volunteer work, because there also you have to apply, of course, to get some experience? Or do you want to work in your own field where you have studied? So it's very important to know what you are looking for. And what is the most important asset while looking for a job? I would like you to unmute and give me an answer. So this is a very interactive webinar. What do you think is the most important asset? An asset is something valuable, okay? While looking for a job. Who would like to give it a try? Noah?
The most important, I think, to understand what do you really want.
Okay. And what is the most important asset while looking for a job? What is the most valuable thing in looking for a job?
I think it's emotional intelligence.
Emotional intelligence, okay. What else?
I think it's connecting with the person that you're going to be working with. I think that's very important.
Okay. Somebody else? No? Okay, I'll give you the answer. It's you. You are the most important asset. You may find it strange, but this is we are talking before applying also. When you're looking for a job, you are the most valuable person thing while looking for a job. And why is that? It's because you have all the knowledge, you have studied, you have experience, you have a diploma, you have everything. You are the person you are going to look for a job, and you have everything within you. Your skills, of course, are also what you have. And every person is unique, and all your skills, your experience, your education, your knowledge is all unique to you. So you are very important for this when you're going for a job hunt. Then my question is, do you know your value? Do you say, yes, I know? You can use your telephone, please. And this is anonymous, so it doesn't matter. Do you say, yeah, I know my value 90%? Because I don't think anybody knows it 100%, so I just put it 90. Or do you say, yes, I know my value 50%? Or you say, oh, I don't know, I've never thought about it. Oh, wow, okay, I get 90. I'm waiting for some polls because I have only 4 people who have voted, who made a choice. 5. I still have 5 more people to go, I think. I think there's one more person. Okay, I think I have all of them. Tatiana, do we have, I have 11 people. Yeah, That's true. We are 12 of us, right?
What?
We are 12 of us, right? I don't know. I cannot see how many participants are there. That's why.
I see 18 persons in
Okay, so
a webinar.
okay, 18, but I have only
16.
11, 18. So if you can, yeah, so I need some more votes. I only got 11.
Mhm.
Come on, ladies and gentlemen, take out your telephone and let me know if you know your value. It's anonymous. Don't be shy. Okay. So, most of you say you know your own value 90%. Some say, okay, I know half, 50% of my value, and the very little percentage of I'm not sure of my own value. Now, what do I mean by all that? If you want to know your own value, you have to research yourself. Yeah, you have to do a research on yourself. That's what I mean. How would you do that? One of the tools you can use is this method. So first of all, you take your education, the formal education, where you take a piece of paper and you write all the education, formal, informal you have done, from typing courses to everything. That's what I mean by informal. And formal is, of course, your school education, what you've studied and everything. You put it in a row. And then you go into your experience of life, work and life. You may have worked, and so you have a lot of experience of all the things you did. Put everything in it. And by life, I mean, even if you have done volunteer work, even if you have done other sorts of works, just put it all in. It's all your experience in life. Then you put another list of your passions. That's your hobbies and what you do and everything you put together. And the three things, your education, your experience, and your passion, will come down to your qualities. You will realize what qualities you have. Now, what do I mean by that? In education, you could be, for example, studied something technical. So you have the technical qualities. If it is the experience in work and life, let's say in the work you have done something like leading a team. So you have a leader's experience. And in life, for example, let's say very informal, you at home, you wanted to give a party and you arranged a party for high tea for 40 people. You have an organizational qualities. And if you go into passion and hobbies, you could be very creative because you like to work with paper or you are a painter, so you're very creative. So these are all qualities. So you don't look at yourself only as a painter, but your quality could be that you are creative. So that's what I mean. So if you take this tool, is one of the ways to find out what your qualities, and your qualities, I mean also your value. Okay, that is your worth, what you can do. And of course, I would like you to encourage you to be proud of it after that. After you found out what you are good in, what you can do, what you have done, be proud of it because that's you and it's unique because every person is unique. So you have qualities somebody else doesn't have. You have education what somebody else doesn't have. So everyone is different. So be proud of what you have gained till now. Now, after that, I would like to use a very different way of thinking while applying for a job because every day you are thinking, okay, I have to write letters, I have to write do this, and then you're applying. But this is a method I would like to make it upside down. So that's why I have this question. What do you think are the challenges of a company while hiring? Have you ever thought about that? There's a company or an organization and they need to hire people. What type of challenges would they have? I think the poll allows just you to write only once, so put everything and then only do send, okay? Put yourselves in the shoes of the company, the hiring company, okay? The company who's looking for people. What would their headache be? What are the challenges? Culture fit, very good. Employees with local language support, yes, to cater to local clients, very good. It can just be one word also. You don't have to write a whole sentence. You can just write the words and comma, words, comma, because it allows you, I know, just to send once, one answer. Find the most adapted person for the position, thus setting a proper screening process. Very good, yes. Finding the right talent, attracting top candidates, evaluating skills and experience, retaining talent, diversity and inclusion, keeping up with trend, cost and time. Yes, indeed. Managerial skills, self-initiative, very good. Yeah, these are what they are really looking for. It is their challenge indeed for the company. So I'll keep the poll open for just a half a minute. I see one participant is still typing. Having people humanity and self-awareness, yes. Having people humanity, self-awareness. I thought somebody else was still typing. Okay, I have 7. I'll go to the next one. Yeah, these are indeed challenges a company faces while they want to hire a person. So what I call the system thinking is turning the table. So you are in the shoes of a company. So that is the way I want you to think while applying for a job. You turn the table and you look at the challenges, which you already mentioned, of a company. Could be they want the best. They want to fit in the organization, which you all mentioned. Speed, time, they don't have time. They need the person immediately. They need the right person for the function, for the position. Too many applicants, they can have for one function, they can have thousands of applicants. That's also a problem for them or a challenge. And sometimes they have a fixed margin of salary. For this salary, we have to find this type of person. Now, that is what I call turning the table. So when you start applying for a job, think about the other side. So that will help you to understand the other side better. Why? Because if you think that way, you can help them to choose you. See, they have all those challenges. So if you help them to overcome their challenges, you will be the one who will be chosen for that position or the job. So if you help them to choose you, what do I mean by that? How can you help them to choose you? Now, what is the most important step in looking for a job in another country? So let's say you're from India and you come to the Netherlands and for whatever reason, and then you want to look for a job. Or you're from Luxembourg, coming to the Netherlands. Or from Lebanon. I know there's somebody from Lebanon who's here. And then looking for a job. You can also unmute if you like. No? Nobody wants to? Nobody can. I hope you all are not falling asleep. Okay, what is the most important step in looking for another? Now, this is the most important step. That is what I tell. Number 1, you should do is diploma validation. Because you have studied something very important, but it may be in your own country. And is that education system the same as the Dutch system? And if we turn the table and think about the Dutch, they have to be able to make sense about your diploma. But if you give them your diploma, how it is in India or other country, they won't understand anything. And what do? Oh, I don't understand anything. I don't have time. I don't know this person. Let's put it in the no bucket. That's where your CV will go. So in the Netherlands, there is, at least I have a good experience with NUFIC. You have to pay their administration cost, what it costs them to evaluate or validate your diploma. And there are some embassies who will also compensate for that. They will pay it for you. But make sure your diploma is understandable to the Dutch. Or I would say also, if you're working in another country, see if it is possible to have your diploma validated. Because we are so used to our own diploma, we understand exactly our system of education. Whereas in the Netherlands, they wouldn't be able to make head or tail, and then they won't even spend their time looking at your CV if they don't understand. So make sure this is your first step to make make it easy for them to choose you. So they're like, okay, they have the first service now already. They know how to, she has studied this or he has studied that. Now, the selection. There are now modern days, there are different types of selection, how it takes place, at least in the Netherlands. You have machine selection. I think some of you may be used to it already. It's called the application tracing system, which big companies like Fortune 200 companies use for selecting. First step of selection they do through machine, and it is, I must say, pretty tricky to be able to go through a machine, but I'll come to that later. And the next is, of course, the human, the HR or the recruiters who do the selection. So this can be in a company who is much smaller or medium-sized company. They still use HR or they use recruiters to look for, to hire people. That is the selection system nowadays. Now, what is the next step? Of course, the CV. Yeah? That's what we're going to make now. We're still in the process of before the application. We still haven't applied, but we are organizing ourselves to be able to apply. Now, what do you set in the CV? I'm sure you already know. You put your education, your qualification, language skills, all skills. Please write all the skills you have, even the smallest of skills, just write it. And if you are from a culture where we have learned not to boast about anything, please don't take it seriously, at least in the Netherlands. Write everything. Be proud of your skills and just write it. It's not boasting. If you are sure you have the skills, write it in the CV without feeling guilty, without feeling ashamed or that you're boasting or you're being arrogant. You're not being arrogant, at least not in the eyes of the Dutch, okay? Write references, volunteer work, because that also includes all the experience you have. Just because it's didn't pay doesn't mean you don't have the experience. Your contact details, of course, your address, whatever, your experience, very important, and your graduation and other studies. This is what your CV is about, but you already know maybe for some of you all who have already applied many times. And of course, some people choose for a photo. I would like to say something about the photo on the CV. It's optional. You don't have to put a photo. In my CV, I never used a photo, and I always got a job. But you can choose to put a photo. But if you put a photo, make sure it's professional quality, okay? Don't cut it out from a vacation or something and then put it in. It gives a very bad impression, especially in the Dutch sphere. They like professional things, and qualitative things. So if you put a group photo and you take out your head only and then put it in, that doesn't work. So make it a professional quality photo. Clothing, be careful of what clothing you have in your photo. Don't have in a beach or something, in a party. Have a bit of a formal, doesn't have to be too formal, but at least a formal with sleeves on and a bit covered clothes that you have on the photo, okay? Don't put a vacation photo somewhere. And when you take a photo, make sure you look in the camera. That gives a good impression about the person. So look into the camera. It gives you a very interactive photo. And of course, the third one is smile. It is not a passport photo. In the passport photo, you're not allowed to smile. But in this photo, please smile because it brings out your inner smile, your charm, your character out in a photo. So smile, your best smile in the photo. Of course, if you like. If you don't like, of course, that's up to you. And I would also like to add something here, which I didn't write, is if you are from a very dark colored person, your skin is very dark in color, I would suggest a black and white photo, but it's up to you. But if you say, no, I want to have a color photo, that's okay. But I have the feeling that such a person comes better out in a black and white photo. So that's just a few tips about the photo. We just looked at first, do you think? Now we're still talking about turn the table. So we are still in the shoes of the recruiter or the company. So if you're in the company, what do you look at first? The motivation letter, or would you look at the CV first? I need an answer. Please answer me. Unmute yourself and give me an answer, please.
CV, I think CV first.
CV, okay. Who else?
Yeah, CV.
CV.
I've noticed that generally they read the motivation letter first, and if they like the motivation letter, then they move on to the CV. That is what I've seen around with other friends.
Okay, that's interesting. I have talked to
And
some HR people, and I have, of course, talked to a lot of people who do the hiring. And according to them, but you could be right, CV is what they usually look at because they don't have the time. I have heard people say, we don't have the time to look at the motivation letter. So usually they look at the CV first. So, what does that mean? That means something you can do. For the curriculum vitae, for your CV, for the machine, you have to use a lot of keywords because they don't, of course, use the motivation letter if it is missional chosen. So make sure you have good keywords. Like experience is very important because they're looking for experience. Skills is another very important. So write as many times as you can about your skills, your experience, and your trainings. These are the keywords where the machine algorithm really works to push you through as a candidate, potential candidate. That is for the machine. Now, for the curriculum vitae, some tips which you all already know, maybe or not. What the machine cannot do is no colored backgrounds because they cannot read it. Don't put bullet points, chart, tables, or pictogram. It's a pity because then your layout is very simple. But that's what the machine likes. And what are the do's? The machine seems to be able to recognize dashes, asterisks, and please make sure, even for human, later I'll come to that, put a PDF or a JPG of your CV. Dates are also recognized by a machine, and all your skills. That's very important. Your experience and your skills. Please mention it as many times as possible in your CV. I keep saying CV because the machine doesn't use a motivation letter, okay? How long does a HR take to decide if a CV comes to the yes, maybe, or no bucket? 3, whatever. This is anonymous, so you can use your telephone. Oh, by the way, you can keep your telephone on this Slido. You may need it a couple of times. I forgot to say it. Sorry. You must have switched it off. So you have to log in again. Slido.com. How long do you think a HR or a person who's looking at your CV would take to decide whether you are on the yes, maybe, or oh, no, not this, 10 seconds. Okay. If a CV passes the initial scan, a more detailed review may take anywhere from a few minutes to around 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, my poll has been stopped. I have 4 answers. Oh, I mean, yeah. No, I have 5 answers, but my computer says I have 4 answers. Okay. It takes, I have talked to HR people, and also there has been some people who have 30, 40 years of experience, and they confirm that it takes them 3 to 4 seconds before they decide. They just look at the CV. They don't look at the motivation letter. They look at the CV and they say immediately between 3 to 4 seconds if this is a yes or a maybe or a no. So 3 seconds, can you imagine how small a window timing you have to really be the one with your CV? So this is good to know from the other side. If you know from how do they do it, then it will help you to make your CV and your motivation letter. Now, the curriculum vitae for the HR who has very little time and takes 3 to 4 seconds to decide on your CV. Now, option 1, I already said, if you want a photo, you can put it. Some people have their dates of birth. I don't have it in my CV, but you can if you want, no problem. But you need it, especially if a position is for mentioned, this is for somebody from 30 to 40 years old or 20 to 30 years old. Then, of course, you have to put your birthday. But if there's no mention of those sort of things, then I wouldn't put my date of birth. Why don't I do it? I never did it when I was young also. just to make sure that you don't get discriminated. Age discrimination. I don't have a photo, just to make sure I don't get discriminated. That's all. So, but it's up to you. If you think no profession nowadays is needed, please do it by all means. This I find very important. This is one golden tip I will give you on the curriculum vitae. Because if a person indeed doesn't look at your motivation letter at all, that person doesn't have time and looks only at the CV, how is that going? How is that person going to know a little bit more about you? A little bit more about your skills, your experience. I use this function always. I had this always. That could be the reason why I also got job always when I applied, is because after you write your credentials, your day, your address, your formal things, and before I write your education and things, make space there to write something about yourself, and make sure you use words like your skills, your experience, and also a bit about your character. What type of a person are you? Maybe you are somebody who has been a leader and likes to be a leadership somebody who is really interested in DEI, that is diversity, equity, and inclusion. Write it. Those. Make sure you use the right SEO words, as we call it. Make sure you write those words, and you can also highlight it, make it fat, so they can see it immediately when they see your CV. There is something, at least 1 or 2 paragraphs about yourself. And then, if they don't look at the motivation letter, then it's okay. Then you have already given some information about yourself. So you can write a title like the most. If you think you're an energetic person, you can write an energetic engineer for whatever, and then that's the heading, and then you write something about yourself. But please don't feel that you are being arrogant. Write the truth. Don't be arrogant. And by arrogant, I mean overdoing something, but it is not arrogant if you just mention what you are. So if you are from a culture who thinks, no, we are not allowed to be arrogant, please don't think it as arrogant, because how else can you make a Dutch person transparent enough to know you and to choose you? Remember, we are making it easy for them to choose you. To make that, you have to be transparent. You have to give them the chance to know who you are. So it is important to give a little bit about yourself. Yes, so please don't be ashamed or shy or anything. It's just a piece of paper. And if it is true what you are mentioning, write it down. And of course, the information quantity, it can be about 3 to 4 sheets of paper, your curriculum vitae. Write about all the certificates you got, because that can prove that you have not only saying what you are, but you have done and you have a proof. And extra activity, everything, write it down, because it gives an impression of your qualities, your soft skills. That is the only way to show them that you have soft skills, by the training and the courses and the extra activities what you have done. And don't leave space for reading between the lines. I come from a culture where we talk a lot and we say a lot, but we don't give the main message. In the Netherlands, the culture is the opposite. You begin with the message, because to them, they want the message, and not beating around the bush is very annoying for them. So the main thing you can do, at least to help them choose you, be clear about the message you want to give them. Be clear about who you are, for example, and not say, yeah, I did this, I did that. No, just say, okay, I'm that, you are looking for that, so I am that. So you can also look for in your in the job description, look for all the words they have used. Use the same words also in your CV. Be transparent and don't be going around in circles, because that's something that annoys the Dutch very much. And they may just give up looking at the CV, and that's what we don't want. We want to help them to choose you. Job application. Sorry, I'll just take There are some important questions for yourself before you apply. This is the questions. Do I want to work for this company? You find a job description somewhere, a job, and you think, that's nice. Okay, the job may be nice, but do you want to work for that company? Research the company. Why do I want to work for the company? Be sure you know why you want to work for the company, because you don't want to go to a company and work for a month and realize it's a toxic environment and you want to get out of it as soon as possible. It'll give you a stress. You may have burnout. That's not what you want. And it's very important to know why you want to work for the company. And make sure the reason is not all because it's a world-known company, the biggest company. That is not the reason. You have to have a nice motivation as to why you want to work in the company. Other forms of application for and tips. I don't know if they use it now. I have done video application. So you have to make a video about yourself and they give you some things, what information that you have to give in a video, and you send the video. So that video, I would say, plan the script. Don't read the script, learn it out of your head, or just make bullet points so you know what you want to talk about. Edit it as multiple times, take shots, don't be in a hurry, take the time to do it, and then only send it. When you're really, really sure about it, then only send it. And of course, you have a digital application also. LinkedIn uses a lot of this. Like you switch on, if you switch the button, if you press the button from immediately apply via LinkedIn, then you get this form. Sorry, where you can apply. But I would like to warn you, always upload, don't type in. If they say here's a space to either type in your CV or upload, please always upload, and please make sure, like we said before, either it's a PDF or it's a YAPI version. Because what happens in this system of application, your whole layout goes haywire. So make sure you have something that you can just upload easily. Let's talk about interview and negotiation. Let's say now you have applied and now they want to talk to you. So there are various ways of doing interviews. They could either do it via Skype or Zoom or whatever, Teams. Or if you are in the country, they might want to do it face to face. So both is possible. Have you done an interview? How many of you all have done an interview? Can you just give me a yes? You can unmute and say yes. Have you all never done an interview?
Yes.
Okay, at least one yes. Sorry?
Yes.
Okay. 2 yeses.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You
Yes.
okay, so you all know what an interview is, okay? So face to face or whatever, then you know, certainly you have some experience of how it goes. Now, let's talk about interview in the Netherlands. So first of all, for the interview, if you go for the interview, please turn up on time. It's very, very important. It's better to be half an hour earlier than 5 minutes too late for the Dutch. So if you turn up late, then you know you will not go through to the second round. They find it very, very annoying. So make sure you turn up on time. Is money and time is of essence in the Netherlands. So turn up on time. Half an hour earlier, and you wait there, drink water, go to the toilet, whatever, but wait there. Then come huffing and puffing and you sweat 5 minutes too late. It makes a very bad impression. So time is of very much of essence to the Dutch. Take everything with you. That's the best. If you have the vacancy, the job description, whatever, print it out, take it with you. Take your CV, a printed CV with you, also invitation letter, whatever you have, just take everything with you. Agenda can be digital, in a telephone, whatever. But make sure you have everything with you, because you never know why or when you might need it during an interview. So just have it with you. Now, I would like you again to sit in the stool of the company And read this. This is a real one. It was on Facebook. Please read it. And then I need your telephone again after this, because the question you can answer in the telephone as anonymous. Yeah? Okay. Let's go to the question. What are your thoughts on this proposal as employer? You're the potential employer. What do you think if some client of a candidate says that they need that much amount of money because they are a lone parent, they have a small baby or a small child, and they have a mortgage, they need the money. Salary will be negotiated based on the capability of talent, not on the personal background. He's honest and doesn't beat around the bush. I like that one. Is there anybody typing? Because I don't see any activity. If not, I can go to the next slide. Okay, I have 3 answers. What is the answer? This was the rest of the post, what the person had placed. They told me to go elsewhere. Now, what do you think? Why do you think they told him or her to go elsewhere? Because the company, remember, you are in the shoes of the company. We have all those challenges. And one of them got almost right. The answer is, what is your value? What are you bringing to the table? If you are not, this is what the company is thinking. What is in it for them? What is in it for us? That's what the company thinks. What is that candidate bringing to the table? What is the value of the candidate? They don't care if you are a mother or a father with 20 children. They don't care how much money you need. They know you need the money. They know that that's why you're looking for a job. They also have a job because they need the money. So they are not interested in that. What interests them is to find the right person for the right position, and which means the right quality, the right value. So when negotiating, please don't talk about your personal problems, which has nothing to do with them. They will not be interested. What they will well be interested in, I'm bringing this much value to the table or to your company. Then they realize, okay, this person is valuable, so the price goes up. Simple as that. But if you keep saying, yeah, start with personal problems, like somebody wrote, no, that is something it's not their problem, So that's how not to bring yourself, I wouldn't say sell, that sounds very cheap. I would say that is how you show them your value. That's why it's very important you know your own value. What is your experience? What is the talent? And what were they looking for, by the way? You have a look at the job. Oh, yeah, they were looking for that. I've done it 20 times. Now, okay. They were looking for that experience. Oh, I've done it in that and that company. Now, that brings all your value in one place. That brings your value up. The price goes up. That's how it works. That's negotiating with a Dutch. What you can expect in an interview, some questions, it may not be asked, but it may also be asked. During an interview, you may be asked, why this company? Very good question. What they mean is, what is your motivation? And please don't say, yes, I want to work in the company because you are a very famous company. They know that. They don't need you to tell them that. They want to know why you're coming to this company. So you have to say things like what you are bringing to the company, or you could help the company in a better way, or whatever they are looking for, their goals, to achieve their goals. Where do you see yourself in 3 years' time? The Dutch plan ahead. They are always planning ahead, hardly looking behind. So you have to know your motivation. They want to see how motivated you are, to see where you will be in 3 years' time. It doesn't have to be a possible thing. It may just be a dream. It doesn't matter to them. They just want to find out what type of a person you are. Are you motivated? Are you somebody who's ambitious or not? That's what they're trying to find out. Can you explain a skill? What I mean by this is, if you have put a skill in your CV, they may ask you to highlight or talk more on that skill. So what they mean is you have to give an example where you use the skill. For example, if you say, I'm a very good organizer, as your skill, they might say, okay, how can you say that? And then you say, oh yeah, because for that and that company, I have arranged that and that many times, or I had this company and they needed some whatever, training, whatever, and I organize it, then they know, okay, that person is an organizer, the skill is true. So that's what they mean. Always, if you put a skill, also know where it comes from. What did you do to get that skill? It's very important to know that. So that if you're asked, you can tell it and not hesitate, so they know you're not lying about your skills on the CV, but that it's true. What is your opinion on? That is very important. The Dutch love opinions. So if you are from a culture who doesn't give your opinion, please make sure you have an opinion. If you say, I don't know, if you hesitate, you won't be the good candidate, because it is very important to the Dutch that they have somebody who's equally good at giving their opinion. I don't mean to say criticism. It's your opinion. What do you think of it? A small example, when I applied long time ago, they were busy trying to find out windmills. The not the windmills, the traditional ones, but the modern windmills. And somebody had a picture and they said, can you give me your opinion about this type of windmills in our, because it was a municipality, in our municipality. So then you don't close up, but then you take your time if you want to think. But if you give your opinion, what you really think about such a windmill in the municipality, anything. If you can say something, please do, and don't shut up. Keep your mouth closed. Please don't do that, because Dutch companies and people, the culture is such that opinions matters a lot. Doesn't matter whether you're wrong or right. It's not about being wrong or right. It's about being able to have your own opinion, which means it gives the impression of that you are independent and that you can think for yourself. And in the end, they may ask, do you have any questions? Please say yes. Never say no. Because it gives them the impression of how interested you are in the job, in the people who are sitting on the table with you, or in the Zoom, whatever. Please have at least a few interesting questions prepared beforehand about the job, about the company, whatever it can be. Just make sure you have some questions. So don't hesitate and don't say, I don't have anything to ask, because it gives the impression that you are not interested, while you are maybe. Interview tips. Know your motivation. Why? That's why you have to know, why are you coming to this company? Why this company, madam? Or why this company, sir? You have to be able to say why. What is your motivation? Why this position? Now, please be able to say a why. So that's why you have to research yourself very good. Research the company as well, because remember, you are not the only one who's looking for a job. They are looking for you, remember, with all your assets. So please make sure you also research the company to see if the company fits you and that it's not a toxic company, whatever. Research the company. So when you have, in the end, do you have questions? You have done your research, your homework, you have questions. So you'll always be ready to ask questions. Please don't beg for a job. I need the job because I need the money, please. And don't flatter the company. Whatever. Don't do these two things. It doesn't make you professional. So that's what they are looking for. Professional, independent, person with opinion, an ambitious person who's going to work for them, and of course who's interested and motivated. That's what they want, and not somebody who's begging for a job. Visibility. What platforms are you visible on? I have just a few, but it can be more. And the Indeed site is a very nice one. It has an international Indeed. It's called INDEED. LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, you can be everywhere. Make sure you're visible everywhere. And don't forget, it's all about helping them choose you. So make it easy for them to choose you. So don't think, why should I write it? Write everything so that they can choose you. Use the right SEO words so the machine can find you. And the experience and the skills are very, very important. Skills that make a difference. This I'm referring to the Netherlands, okay? Assertiveness, that's what I said. Gives a leadership quality. Independent gives also somebody with opinion. Is independent, thinks for himself. Professional. Oh, he doesn't beg or something. He just tells me every time about his value. Ah, he's professional. A communicator. Ah, he has questions. He doesn't shirk from questions or asking. He isn't afraid of asking questions and giving opinions. Ah, he's a team player. Okay, so do you have these soft skills of team player? If you've worked in teams, write it down. Those are the tips to shorten your search period. Invest in yourself. We are a lot of people here who are afraid of investing in ourselves because you could be from a culture or belief that investing in yourself is arrogant. It isn't. The more you invest in yourself, the more you have self-development trainings, you will be more closer to getting that job. And if you need, take a coach who knows something about navigating cultures, working in a multicultural, because the world has become so global, you just can't avoid this anymore. Don't ever think, okay, I'll be working only with Lebanons, only working with Indians. No way, it's going to be a multicultural workspace. You have to be able to fit in. So make sure you invest in yourself, because if you take a coach, I know the coach will ask you for payment, but it's worth it. It's for your own self-development. Self-development, spending money on self-development is not being arrogant. It's for your own future. Tips to help you during the search period. Learn Dutch, because I'm talking about the Netherlands. Add it to your CV. It doesn't matter which level you have, A1, A2, just put it. They know, okay, she's motivated to learn the language. Be and stay positive. I know this is easily done than said, but it is very necessary that you really try to stay positive. Be diligent, which means keep up the work. Don't lag behind. And if you have applied and you are not chosen, don't think that the work is done. No, it is not over yet. What do I mean by that is, in the Netherlands at least, you can call the company and ask the person why you are not chosen. That is a very good feedback. You will get very good feedback on why you are not chosen. And that will give you points where you can take up in your CV or for your next interview. It will really help you. So be open for feedback. You can always call them and ask them, why wasn't I chosen? Or we were just two candidates and still the other one got the job. Why didn't I get it? They will be very open about it because they are willing to help you to get a job. I have something for the people who attended today. It's a free webinar for if you want to have a side income or extra income. It's possible. It's a free webinar on how to become an intercultural trainer. And what I mean by that is I'm an intercultural trainer or a cross-cultural trainer, how you want to say it, but I also had a job at the university. So the intercultural training is you learn how to become a trainer. I'll give you the contacts where you can immediately after getting the training, you become a trainer, and then you can contact those people and you will come in their book. And whenever they need an intercultural trainer, you'll be contacted. So that means it's not a daily salary job, but you will have this income every time that they need a person who needs to give a training. So this is the webinar. I'm going to explain to you how it works. And you could see it as a side hustle. So in that sense, you can combine it with a job, and you can also say, no, I can make it a full-time job. So it's up to you. And the reason why I say it is also because an intercultural trainer does not mean that you should have lived in 30, 40 countries. It's not necessary. Even if you lived in one country, you can become an intercultural trainer. And I will explain to you how that is possible in this webinar. And if you are interested, then please write your email address in the chat now so that I can inform you when the webinar is taking place. Any questions? I think we'll do the questions with then I can see your faces at least. So I will just go to the last one. Thank you very much for attending. So if I can stop sharing, then I'll go to the questions if you have any questions. So here I am back again. So if you're interested, please put your emails in the chat and I'm open to questions if you have any. So was I sorry?
I had one question.
Yes.
Gaurav this side. Firstly, thank you so much for this wonderful, informative session. I learned a lot and it was very enriching. I had one question. So, when you were talking about the process of how to apply, before applying, we should get our diploma validated and other things. So, I am a school teacher in India. So, I did that. I got my diploma validated by NAFIC, I think.
Uh-huh.
Uh, Duo from Duo. So I am certified. So recently, a couple of months back, I got the judgment that they have certified me to teach in the Netherlands. I can teach in primary, secondary, vocational, and adult setting. Primary as a subject teacher, not the class teacher, subject teacher. Uh, but finding a job from India, especially in a school, not in a company, it's really hard because in order to obtain a job, in order to obtain a work permit, you need a visa, some visa sponsorship, I think.
Yeah.
And you need to be registered by the government of Netherlands, the organization, and not many schools are registered. So fine, I have applied in several schools. As soon as I got the certification, I started applying. I have applied in numerous schools, and I haven't got the response. So later on, I did the research and I found out that they need to be registered in the by the government in
Yeah.
order to so for someone in teaching profession, since there are some very few schools who are registered sponsors, so how can we actually convince them? And it's very costly. Sponsorship is very costly, so I understand where the schools are coming from, and it's hard for them to sort of, even if they wish to hire someone from overseas. So what can we do considering my situation, and how do I convince them that I have the skills when I'm not even able to get them to the interview stage? So I haven't even reached the interview stage. So what can be done in that situation? Considering all the limitations, all the restrictions, what do you think I can do on my part to sort of apply for a job?
Yeah. First of all, if you don't have Dutch at a professional level
Yeah.
and you want to teach in English, then that will leave you with international schools.
Yeah.
We choose English. So for them, it is too expensive to sponsor visa.
Yeah.
But it's just a suggestion. I don't know if they would be open to it. Have you suggested remote online teaching?
No, I haven't heard about it.
It could be that if you have something interesting that they do it online, because that is possible. Everything is Zoom, Teams nowadays. That they say, oh, that's a very interesting topic. Would you do it? Because when I was in the university, I had somebody who was in the United States, and I asked her to give 1.5 hour session online, which she did. So I switched on and because we have the materials, so I just put the computer in the big screen what we have in the class, and she gave a lecture for 1.5 hour. So it could be a possibility. I don't know if the schools are open to it, but nowadays everything can be done with technology, so who knows? So that would
Can you
save
suggest
them
me?
the visa. Sorry?
Thank you for the answer. Can you suggest me some websites where I can look for this online thing? Because I don't have any idea about it. I've just heard it from you.
The schools that you apply to, maybe ask them again, but with the remote idea. Is that an idea? Because you already have the emails of those schools, right?
Yeah, I'm certified to teach there. So
Yeah.
okay, remote.
No, I mean to say you already send them emails, right? To apply.
Yeah, I've already applied.
Yeah, so
Already
you
sent them.
already have the emails, but now you can say, okay, how about remote? Maybe that will set them into an idea from, oh, okay, that's a good idea. That's what I mean.
Okay. Okay. Surely I'll definitely.
Okay, because I don't have any list or anything about schools who would be interested in doing it.
Yeah. And plus there are a lot
And
of.
may I ask what do you teach?
I teach social studies, but I'm willing to go the TESL teaching English as second language. I'm willing to do that course as well if I am required to teach English.
Okay, English, you mean?
I teach social studies, but I am willing to do teaching as a English as a second language course as well. The
Oh,
online course,
okay.
TEFL, TESL. If they want me to teach English, I primarily teach social science, social studies.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it could be a possibility study. Yeah, teaching English as well. Yeah.
Teaching social studies. Basically, I teach social studies. But if someone is interested and if things work out, I'll be open to doing teaching English as a second language, TEFL or TESL course. So that one more option opens up. I can teach English as well.
Okay.
But at the moment, finding that thing is very hard. As you
Yeah.
also said that with schools it's very hard. It would be very. They have their limitations as well with
Yeah.
the sponsorship and all. So I understand their point of view as well.
So maybe in LinkedIn you can find some schools. I'm not sure.
Okay, okay. LinkedIn and online teaching.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the answer and for
You're
the
welcome.
wonderful session.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
so much to the Netherlands Education Group. May you continue doing such enriching sessions, very beneficial for me. Thank you so much. Have a good
Thank
day.
you. So anybody else has questions?
Hello. Hi,
Hello?
Kritika. Thanks for the session. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to ask if, say, one is already living in Netherlands, but say most of the times, if you were to apply for a job, you get feedback saying they need a native Dutch speaker. So is there any way around a situation like that? Maybe like you can help in giving some advice. What could possibly be done then?
What is your profession?
I work as a marketing professional into marketing and branding.
Okay, marketing branding is English is very much accepted, I think, in the Netherlands. Look, if it was
Um,
language or something, they would really want, or if you want to work for the municipality, they would want you to have Dutch. It depends on which
uh,
company. Yeah.
so to be honest, yeah, I have tried. So if it's the Randstad area, yes, definitely I agree. It's more English speaking. I actually live in Eindhoven area, yeah. So it's not like I haven't tried to expand the radius also. But yeah, I would say 90% of the time people are really asking. I should say the trend has kind of shifted. They're pushing more for native Dutch now. So even doing the inburgerings has not really helped.
And how about international organizations? They use still English. Of course, the Dutch
Um,
company, small company, I can imagine they want to have the Dutch market, so that's why they want uh, native Dutch. But for international companies, I can imagine they want to have they want to do business with other countries.
mm-hmm,
Then they would need
yeah,
English.
mm-hmm, okay.
At least that is what I would think. But yeah, I know that. I see a lot in the Facebook about how people get this reaction about we want a native Dutch. But it could also be that they are writing some standard answers because they are not very motivated by the CV or motivation letter or whatever.
Mm-hmm,
So, if, like, for example, I can imagine a company has a standard letter for refusing someone, and this could be one of the reasons they could use for more people than just you. Because they realize, oh, okay, the CV is not, I don't understand, or the education system I don't understand, or whatever. And they're like, okay, you know what? It's in the put it in the no bucket, and then we'll just send a standard letter saying the Dutch is a problem. It could be. I'm not saying it is, but it could be.
mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
And have you? I don't know what your situation, but have you also thought about maybe opening your own freelance, your own company?
I did research a bit, yeah, but seeing here also the Zezepir market is pretty stiff in terms of competition.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't want to, I should admit, yeah, don't want to mentally put myself in that situation where it gets more stressful. Being an expat is
Okay.
not really easy.
Oh
I
no,
think
no.
you've
What I
done
mean
a
to say,
fabulous job of
no, no, no. What I
navigating it.
mean to say is, you have your own company and you don't have to work for the Dutch always. You could work internationally, remote. That's what I mean.
Hmm. Okay,
I
yeah,
don't.
I
It's
think
just
I will read a bit more on the Zezepir then.
okay.
Thank
I
you.
see. You're welcome. I see a hand from someone. Someone's put up a hand, but I don't see the name. Is there somebody who wants to ask a question?
Yes. Hello.
Yes.
Yes. Good evening, all of you.
Oh, I think it's Egmont. Is it you who put up your hand?
Yes.
Okay.
My name is Edmond. I'm from Uganda.
Yeah.
Uh, every time I apply for those jobs, the Dutch from Dutch employers, they normally say if you have a right to work in Netherlands. So I normally face that challenge. I don't know how can we go about that, especially if somebody's not from Netherlands. I don't know because they normally
What?
ask if you have.
What's your profession?
Yes.
What is your profession?
Did procurement.
Oh, procurement. Okay, then like the other one, first one I gave the answer to is the same. You need a sponsor visa. Without a sponsor visa, without the company helping you to come here, which is pretty expensive, you will not be able to come here to work. So to come here to work, you have to make sure that the company is willing to pay your visa and to support you while you are here. So that could be English-speaking organizations, international organizations, and it has to be a pretty big organization who can afford
Okay.
to bring you here.
Okay.
Or you can try it with recruiters.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for your
Thank you
information.
for your question.
All right.
Anybody else?
Hey, hi, Kritika.
Hi.
Yeah, so one doubt from your CV section, you mentioned no bullet points. So I'm just wondering, like, whenever I just search internet for some good resume templates, they mention like make it bullet points. So just wondering why you were telling no bullet points.
That is because if it is going to be machine searched, it seems that the machine doesn't recognize bullets, but they recognize dash. So I don't know if you can put dash instead of bullet points.
Because
Or you
I'm
can.
wondering, like, I'm an IT profession currently in Netherlands on a dependent visa.
Mhm.
But before coming to Netherlands, people were telling like it's easy to get an IT job because Dutch is not mandatory. But after coming here and searching, I see it is different because most of the job descriptions ask for a Dutch B1 or B2, and I don't have any Dutch knowledge. So, is it a mandatory requirement now? Like I invest in Dutch language and then apply for a job, or what are your suggestions?
If you are going to stay in the Netherlands and want to do a work, I would advise you to take Dutch classes and at least go for your inburgering if you want to. But for the time being, you're living in the Netherlands, right?
Yeah, I am in Arnhem.
Arnhem. If you can later send me I have my, by the way, I had put for everybody, I have put a LinkedIn in the beginning. Please connect if you want to. And Suruthi, if you want, you can send me a message and I'll see if I can connect you with somebody. I don't promise anything,
Okay.
but I know a recruiter who does IT.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I will just bring you in contact.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah?
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you so much.
But I don't
I
promise anything,
I
yeah?
yeah, I
I just know,
understand.
okay, I'll just put you in contact. Okay.
Yeah. I know you are in WhatsApp. That
Ah,
women entrepreneur.
oh, that's the person I was talking about. So you know her, Kirtika Rao.
Sorry.
She has her own recruiting company, Kirtika
Okay.
Rao.
Okay.
Please
So I can
contact her.
contact.
Yes,
Oh
please
yeah.
contact her. Yeah, she's the
Sure.
recruiter.
Sure. Yeah.
She has her
Thank
own recruiting company and she does it for English speaking companies. So maybe, I don't know, but IT
Yeah.
is very broad. So what she's looking for, I have no idea. So maybe if you get in contact with her,
Oh yeah.
you can. And if that doesn't work, just let me know. I know somebody else also, but because
Sure.
IT is very broad, so we can try. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. Anybody else?
Hi Kritika, this is Lavanya.
Hi.
Can you hear?
Yes, I can
Yeah,
hear you.
yeah. Just after Shruti spoke, I'm also in IT, so I'm also looking out.
You're
Maybe
living in the Netherlands?
I'm living in Eindhoven. Yeah, yeah.
Ah, okay. You have my
So
LinkedIn. Send me a message. I'll
yes,
see. I'll just bring you in contact. I don't
yes,
promise anything.
yeah. Thanks,
Okay.
thanks.
Okay, you're welcome. So I hope I can see you all in the webinar. I see some email addresses. So I will send, how do I do this? Copy the email. Let's see if this works. Oh, yes.
Thank you, Kirtika. I think it was really interesting, even for me.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
I'm
And I'll
sure
get in
that
touch with you via the mail again in a couple of days.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
very
ma'am.
much
It
for
is a great
coming.
information. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Kritika. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you very much for coming.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. Bye. Have a nice
Bye,
evening
bye.
or
Bye,
night,
ma'am.
whatever.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye bye.